All right, yep, we're live. Okay. Hello, everyone. We're on with Jesse Wilson. This is more of a Grantsville centric show for the next half hour, 45 minutes or so. Jesse is the new city manager for Grantsville City. So Grantsville on this go around, they're going with a city manager and a part-time mayor, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. And so that's to, what do you think will be the changes you'll see from that?
Well, probably the biggest is just the fact that we'll have hopefully somebody there consistently that can take the administrative duties, and then the mayor can perform, some of the more executive type duties and stuff. So I think it'll hopefully give us some consistency and continuity in between election cycles and so on.
So was there a previous complaint that brought this change to Grantsville?
No, it's more just it's tough for one person to do.
Mm-hmm.
Recently was talking to Mayor Wynn, and she was like, it would be great to have some help, and just because sometimes some of the day-to-day stuff you get bogged down with. So,
oh, I'm sure.
mm-hmm.
So what do you expect? Now, you were formerly the treasurer and human resources, correct?
That's correct. So,
okay.
So right now,
how long have you been doing that?
I've been doing that for 4 years, about 4.5 years.
Okay.
So with Grantsville City, so I've already been, with Grantsville City, so it wasn't a change that way.
Same office and personnel and
Mm-hmm.
everything, and then the treasurer one will be backfilled, hired for you, correct?
Yeah, so we actually have that posted right now. It does end today, and we've actually had a pretty good outpouring of candidates. I think we have about 10 candidates that have applied so far. So and just kind of quickly looking over them, we've got some good applicants. So I'm pretty excited about where that'll take us to the next direction.
Oh, good.
So how long does the contract run for this position?
So it's a year-to-year type thing. The contract I have now essentially lasts for 5 years, but every year I'm essentially evaluated.
Mm-hmm.
Is how that works.
Okay.
Who does the evaluations?
The city council. So that's who I answer to is to the city council.
Okay. And so what are your expectations? What's some things that you plan on kind of taking on, seeing how you've worked in the office, you've witnessed how it was ran, and maybe saw some things maybe you want to bolster or want to change? Is there anything that you plan on taking on?
Not right now. We're looking. We have a great group of directors right now, and I feel the things that Mayor Marshall was doing in the past, we want to continue, not to shake two things up, too much right now. And so I think it's good that way. We're all, kind of in a honeymoon period right now with this new change. And so just kind of observing right now to see how everybody's, performing their jobs, and then we'll make changes as things come.
Okay. All right. Is there any, I don't know, is there any information you want to get out to the people, tell the people about yourself or anything?
Sure. So, grew up in Idaho. My wife, now was my high school sweetheart, and we grew up pretty much together.
We're at in Idaho.
In southeast Idaho, a little town called American Falls, so
Uh-huh.
just west of Pocatello.
I've been fishing there many times.
Yeah, it's great fishing, great hunting, and loved growing up there. We've got 3 boys. They're all married. 2 of them live out in Indiana. I'm not sure why they chose Indiana, but it's a long ways away. And then our youngest son lives up in Idaho. And anyway, but we have one granddaughter. Unfortunately, she's out in Indiana, but she's a cutie, and we love her. So, but yeah, I love to hunt and fish, those types of things. Love sports all types, and still pretty active, even though I feel like I'm an old man. But we, one of the great things that Grantsville does every year is our 4th of July activities that we have. So we do the fireworks, but the whole week we have different activities throughout the week, and all those activities have continued to grow each year. When they first started, we have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. When they first started that, about 10 to 12 years ago, I think they had, about a half dozen teams. This last year, we had over 70 teams
Wow.
come and play, and they're from all over. Not just Tooele Valley. They also come from in the other valleys, and it's a great turnout. And I usually play. I still think I'm a young guy, but I still play with. Probably the highlight of Grantsville is our 4th of July celebration and programs that we have going on.
Do you have to get like special insurance in order to have a basketball game of that scope?
It's just covered under our city insurance. We've talked with our insurance group, and it's just covered underneath that right now.
That's interesting.
Could you imagine how much a church would have to pay for insurance for church ball?
No, you mean church brawl? Is that what?
Yeah, those guys are violent.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So let's say on these, the city's obviously involved with the 4th of July activities. What about, well, Mayor Critchellow's talked about trying to have like a movie in the park once a week during the summer.
Mm-hmm.
A couple more car shows, more events, filling up the spaces, which I think would be good. And it would be a boon for those small, like the food trucks, like Begay's Navajo Taco
Tacos.
truck
Mhm.
and
Cottage industry type business.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I think that would go along with those. I know in the past, in the spring, the high school soccer team is actually invited to, like the Taco Man. He's come to the park, and so there's food available that way for people. And so doing those things, I think we can continue to participate in that and be able to, help those businesses, especially some of those that are more portable, like the food trucks and stuff. And those are a draw as well, and people will come and be able to participate in that.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
Yeah, and I like what Mayor Critchlow's doing with trying to highlight some of the small businesses that we have in Grantsville.
Mhm.
Sometimes people, I don't think they realize what we do have to offer. I mean, we don't have a whole lot, but we do need to focus on those businesses we do have and support them.
Yeah. Well, he's got another one scheduled next week. That's a business that nobody in my family and all of them but me live in Grantsville. Oh, my other brother lives in Stansbury, but 3 family members don't know about yet. So I think that's good, to learn what is in Grantsville. So if you maybe have the chance to go shopping, you can take that chance on a local business.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think that's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want to support them and continue to help them the best way we can. So if we can get their names out there, I think that's one of the ways to do that.
Yeah.
Jesse, would you say that the cities of like Utah, like Grantsville and Tooele in particular, do you think we're reaching out to food trucks more than we are trying to find establishments that'll permanently base in the city, like the brick and mortar restaurants?
I don't know if I think it's just easier for the food trucks just because they are portable. In some of these, larger chains, you always hear the rumors that go around, we're going to get a Target, we're going to get, a Texas Roadhouse, those types of rumors that go around.
Have you heard that one? Texas Roadhouse?
You haven't heard that one? Or
I haven't, but I would like
it's a
that
new one.
Kneaders, I've heard Kneaders a couple of times, some of those. So I just think that the startup costs and things like that for the food trucks is just a little bit easier than a brick and mortar. I mean, it would be nice to have a nice sit down place. I mean, we like going to Applebee's and things like that, but it'd be nice to have some other options too.
And the management cost of that, the maintenance where you buy the food truck, essentially then your maintenance expenses on that is what you make and sell and then taxes. Whereas when you buy the property, you've got to pay for the property and everything else.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get why they go with the food truck route.
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Yeah, and then they can go to, pretty much any venue or thing like that as well, and so it just helps them on that end.
Yeah. Yeah. So I get that. Yeah. Maybe we need to have a steak and potatoes food truck.
There you go. That'd be
Prime
great.
rib food truck. That's it. Just prime rib, horseradish sauce on top,
Mhm.
out the door.
See, there's your $1 million idea right there.
Yeah. Yeah. Except,
I'd go for it.
yeah. I think that would be pretty cool. That really would. So as far as Grantsville, like with the old folk sociable, is the city involved in that a lot, or is that?
We do make a donation to them so that they can help with some of their costs and so on. So, and then I know they work with the school. They are a separate entity, but we do try to promote them and make sure that people are there, participating. It is a pretty neat thing. I don't know if you've been in the past.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's been around since I was a kid, and
Mhm.
So I haven't heard of it.
So they've actually changed the name. It's actually just the Grantsville Sociable now, because we want more than just old people participating.
Mm-hmm.
So it is the Grantsville Sociable. They typically have anywhere from about 2,500 to about 3,000 people attend, and they have a car show.
That's a lot of people.
It is a lot of people. It's a big thing. So they have a little variety show. So you can either go to the variety show first or have dinner, or you can go to the dinner and then have a variety show. They have 2 variety shows. They take the elderly people from Grantsville and they pick them up in a limo, literally roll out a red carpet for them. Usually have a car show in conjunction with that out front of the high school, and they decorate the high school. And then, excuse me, after the programs are over, they have the dancing in the gyms, and it's a big deal.
it's quite a big affair. It's quite yeah. You'll have to see it. It mostly like kids will sign up, and students in the drama club and dancing, they sign up to put on a little portion of the show.
Yeah.
And then the old people, the seniors, they sit in the front row and get to watch the event.
Yep.
It's a good thing. Hang on a second. Go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to grab you a bottle of water real quick.
Okay, thank you. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's a really good thing. I've been involved with it with different things. My wife is a good cook, and so she seems to get roped into helping with the food. She's done that. It's been a couple years now, but there for a while we were involved about 3 or 4 years right in a row where she was helping with the food or putting the food on. So
Now, is this an established date year to year, or does it change?
it's typically an established date. I think it's the 3rd Saturday in March is when it's at.
Okay, 3rd Saturday in March.
Yeah, it's always been a pretty big deal. It's always,
Yeah.
even when I was a little kid, we always had it going on.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, it's kind of a hidden treasure. Like we lived in Twilla for 4 years, and before we moved out to Grantsville, we didn't know it existed.
Yeah. Well, it is kind of Grantsville centric.
Yep.
So what brought you to Grantsville? What brought you to Twilla first? What made you leave Idaho and come south?
Well, my wife, when we got married, she was teaching high school down in Utah County.
Mm-hmm.
And since she already had a job, I went where the money was. And I went to UVU at the time. It was UVCC. It just barely changed from Utah Technical College. So that dates me quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived down there for a few years. And then this was right before UVU went to 4-year college. And so I transferred up to Utah State. We lived up there for a while. And then one of the jobs I had, we needed to be closer to Salt Lake. And that's kind of what brought us to Twilla. And we loved it here. We love this little valley, and just been here now for 16, 17 years.
Mm.
So
So yeah.
What was your subject of interest in college?
Well, I thought I wanted to be a PE teacher or coach.
Yeah.
And was going into that. That didn't seem to work out. Had a lot of little sidetracks, but eventually got my degree in business administration, and that's kind of what got me into human resources and those types of things. But I've done a lot of management in different careers. I have about 25 years of management experience, and utilizing that now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's been a great ride that way, and been really good.
Did you have a lot of competition for this job?
We did. I'm the hiring, but in this one, since I was applying, I couldn't be involved with it. But my understanding is we had about 20 to 25 applicants that applied for the position, the city manager position. There was quite a few people out of state, and I think they interviewed 5 or 6 individuals. I don't know the exact number again. And then they narrowed it down to 2, and it was myself and another candidate. And, I ended up beating out the other candidate. So,
Yeah. And our county went the same method as hiring an executive. And, yeah, I don't know. I hope it works out.
I think it will. I mean, I feel like Mayor Critchlow and I have a good relationship. Obviously it's just our first week and we're trying to figure some things out, but I feel like we're kind of on the same page with where we want the city to go, and I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah. And he is a nice guy, and I think Grantsville's in good hands. The good thing is what we have here is we have a melting pot where we've got you're 16 years, you're a Grantsvillian.
Well, I'm a newcomer still, so
yeah, but you're Grantsvillian, you know where all the streets are and everything. So, and then the county went with someone from out of state, but originally was from Utah, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Tooele City's still going with the mayor. So we'll be able to watch that and see how it goes and learn lessons off each other. And I'm interested to see how Erda pans out in the end. That's the one I'm really watching because it's all brand new. And so hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I'll reach out and we'll get someone from Erda on to talk about how they're going along. I'm going to try to have them on with someone from one of the other cities and or maybe, a person from Grantsville and from Tooele, because I'd like to help offer Erda that building that relationship where if they have questions or something, they have someone they can reach out to who's already in it,
Yeah.
Government cross-pollination of ideas.
Right.
Keeping it local, yet still coming from different perspectives.
Yeah. So
Hopefully it pays off somewhere.
I think
it will.
I think so too.
Yeah, Erda's, they've got a big feat ahead of them, and I'd like to see them come out of it all.
Yeah, and we'd like to see them succeed as well. We really would.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Now, the hard question: Grantsville and Erda's suing in a lawsuit all the time. How's that working? How's that going? Is that something that you're involved in, or is that handed over to lawyers now and they're?
Well, I really can't comment on that right now just because of the litigation.
Because it's ongoing?
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
All right.
Can you say how much they're trying to get?
No,
That's not even available.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grantsville and Erda, but they've been in a constant lawsuit forever. So, all right. Well, we can't chat about the fun stuff.
Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. That's okay. No.
Sooner or later, the drama comes out.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
we'll have you back on when it's done, and you can say, "Well, this is how it went."
Yeah. Well,
And I don't know. I do think Erda. I would like to see Erda come into this new cityhood, feet on the ground and running, and they've got a heck of a job ahead of them.
yeah. I can't imagine starting up a new government like they have. It would be a struggle. There's just so much to learn, especially if you don't have experience, in the past.
Well, they're handing you the books, and it all says negative. Yeah, this is how much money you have. This is how much money you can spend. This is
And then they tell you how you got to spend it too,
Right.
right? I mean, it's almost easier to start your own country of Erda than it would be your own city, I bet.
probably, yeah.
Well, you know, that's the thing with budgets too that a lot of people don't understand. It's not like balancing your checkbook because certain funds can only be used for certain things, and it does make it difficult sometimes. You know, trying to balance that and make sure that you know we're doing what we're supposed to be doing with that money.
Yeah. So is there any big upcoming events in Grantsville right now?
Just the biggest one coming up is the sociable coming up in March.
Okay.
You know, just maybe get off topic a little bit. A lot of people are concerned about water, and so we're trying to work with that. We actually have a new well that's going to be starting to be drilled here in the next couple of weeks in Grantsville. So that'll give us another well. We currently have 5, and so this will bump us to 6.
Okay.
And so we're pretty excited about that, and you know, we're always looking for ways to keep our residents in water, and we feel like we're in a good position to be able to do that.
What does a well drilling cost nowadays?
I was just going to ask that question.
It's pretty expensive. So one of the things that we like to do is do a test well first, just to make sure there's water down there when we get there, and so that usually costs it's about $40,000 just to do that. And so if you can exponentially think of that to actually drill a well, it's pretty expensive.
So how deep do you have to go?
It depends. We have some of our wells are 400, 500 feet deep. So it just depends on where we hit the good water.
That's a lot of feet.
It is a lot of feet.
Yep.
Yeah, those are deep.
Mm-hmm.
Those are deep.
Yeah.
Well, so we got water. And what about the sewage? Is that in the planning phase right now?
It is. We right now, I think we're about 60% capacity or so. So we're doing really good. One of the issues we have with we have a lagoon system, is sometimes during the summer we get too much phosphorus in the system, and the division of
It's because Mexican food eating goes up. You know, it's all that greasy.
All the taco carts are
the
coming
taco
in.
Yeah, the
carts.
greasy taco carts. That level goes up and starts kind of making the Blue Lake spicy.
Yeah. But anyway, so we are looking at that. We're a couple years out before we need a mechanical plant, but that's the next route that we will go. So we're looking for land to where that would go, and then the actual costs. And so we have a study going on right now helping us with that. And so in the next few years, we'll be going that route.
Now, when you say mechanical plant, is that for the pumps and everything like that?
Mm-hmm. And just how it processes the wastewater.
Okay.
Now, will that be a water treatment plant where they treat it and try to maybe not put it directly back into circulation, but pump it to people's houses you don't like? Or
I don't know for sure. Like one of the places that I've looked at was Santaquin. They a few years ago put in a mechanical plant because that's what they needed, and then with their kind of wastewater, it was good enough for irrigation, and so they provided pressurized irrigation water to their residents. And so I don't know if that's something that maybe we could work with the irrigation company to do something, you know, to help them out and maybe some of the lean years, you know.
or maybe the ability to pump it back up just to the reservoir or even the small reservoir.
Yeah.
I mean, those are irrigation. If you pump it up above them and let them get captured that way, it'll be a secondary filter.
Right.
So, I mean, there's a lot of avenues you could go with that.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's a lot of things that we're looking at that way. So we're excited about this study coming back and seeing what some of the possibilities are.
Really good. Really good. So we got the sociable coming up. The Grantsville. Why'd they take off old folks? Well, probably because it sounds just sounds
like it's for the old people, and it's not. It's for everyone.
Yeah, where when I was young, it seemed like that's where it was centered around. Was you know, we do shows. It was like a whole week at the schools too, especially the elementary school.
And they have. I mean, the kids do like a talent show as well.
Yeah.
the younger children from the grade school and stuff. And so I think they have some great activities to go along with it.
Dave would love to hear this. That's when they used to make us learn square dancing, Dave.
Well, at least it wasn't gun safety.
Yeah, at least it wasn't gun safe.
Don't want to waste our money on that.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. It's exciting stuff. I look forward to seeing that Teresa Wilson, is that your wife?
That happens to be my wife.
She says, we honor the old folks, but everyone is invited to celebrate together. Yes, always, of course. I like that it was centered around, I think what it was for was to build a bond between
the older generation.
the older generation and the brand new ones. And we used to have bring your grandparents to lunch day when I was in elementary school. Best day of the year.
Uh-huh.
And I'd always bring my grandpa. So I thought Grantsville's always been really strong on that bond between the old and the young. I don't know how it is now because I haven't been in elementary school for 5 or 6 years, but
I think it's still there, just with the just with the bond that the people have in the school, and not just the school, but just the community itself. Just very, very close knit, and those who are willing to get involved, I think that they feel involved, and like even though they're not from there, they feel like they have a vested interest in it.
Oh yeah.
I know that was the thing for us when we got out there. That first year I was in the sociable, a friend of mine had roped me into it, and there was a bunch of guys in it that it was more of a comedy act is really what it was. But anyway, we had a good time, and that was, like I said, that was the first time I ever knew about it, but it really got us involved with it.
I haven't honestly been. I've lived in Grantsville a few years since I graduated, but I haven't been involved in anything like that as an adult. But I remember as a kid, it was.
Well, I know some people. Councilman Darren Roberry, that's on our city council, so he's the outgoing chairman of it. I'm sure I could give him a name.
The name is Dave Weiss. Yeah, I don't think I'm ready to
take on that kind of responsibility.
Perform any activity.
I don't know what I would perform.
I can say you could be the MC or something like that.
I tell them about Bitcoin. I mean, I don't know how interested they'd be.
Oh, you're tap dancing, Dave.
I guess those square dancing lessons will come in handy, right?
Oh
yeah. I forgot all about those. Teresa also says, don't forget that the 4th of July is coming up, and there's no better place to celebrate it than Grantsville. And that's true. We got to throw props. Grantsville has always had one of the better fireworks shows in the whole county, easy, and aside from the big pay-for places in the whole state.
I agree. Mayor Marshall was really instrumental in helping us with that, and he's done a great job. And one of the things that he really liked to do was have an activity every night. So this past year, one of the new activities we implemented was pickleball. And we had a great showing. We just did it at the tennis courts there, and we sectioned them off a little bit different. And even though we had kind of a big windstorm and had to suspend play for a little bit, we had a great turnout. And so we're expecting this next year to be even larger. I think we had like 25 teams, and we're expecting this next year to be even bigger.
Is it set up like a couples tournament?
Yeah. So you have to have two of you. We were trying to do, male, female,
husband, wife,
husband, wife.
So you're trying to up the divorce ratio.
Well, that is the problem. And my wife can tell you that we get a little competitive, and, if I don't do it quite right, she lets me know. And I do the same with her, but no, it's great. And then we have a 3-on-3 soccer tournament that we do, and that one's really grown a lot as well. There's a volleyball tournament, just a lot of different things. We would really like, leading up to the 4th of July, to have something pretty much every night for people to do. And I think that's one of the things that makes that celebration so great too.
What's the cutoff wind speed for pickleball?
Well, it was we had about 30-mile-an-hour gusts winds. It was actually blowing over the nets, and so that's why we had to suspend
And
play.
Pickleballs are light also.
They are. They are. I was watching one team play. In fact, it was our chief of police. He and his wife were playing a couple, and they were just like smashing the ball, and it would just barely get across the net. And then on the other side, they'd barely touch the ball, and it was,
Oh, geez.
and so it was pretty entertaining to watch them.
Yeah. And
Pickleball in Tooele in Grantsville. I think that would be amusing. Yeah, high speed pickleball.
Yep.
well, and that's another little secret Grantsville has is it's a tennis town.
It is a tennis town.
Is it really?
It is.
Yeah. Now,
Why is it a tennis town?
because Coach Nelson,
hmm
Grantsville was constantly state champions at tennis.
Well, and still is. I
Yeah,
mean,
and still is. But Coach Nelson built a
pretty much a dynasty.
Yeah, he built a dynasty there, and it's quiet, but it is.
Yeah.
Grantsville was always has been for the last probably since I was in high school.
hmm
Tennis town.
Yeah.
Tennis and football were its two exports.
Yeah.
And this year we did real good at football.
We did. We were way excited about the team and how well they played and how well they did to win the state championship, especially against our rival Morgan.
Mhm.
I mean, that was just the icing on the cake, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, they beat the Trojans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then our our baseball and our softball teams, for both of them to win state this
Yep.
year. I mean, we sports wise we had an outstanding year this year. So,
Yeah, Grantsville has some excellent athletes.
mhm.
Kind of in this whole high school range right now.
Yeah. And our basketball team is doing great this year too, on the boys and the girls. So and then last year, I think they both took third place at state. So and a lot of those kids came back. So we have some great contenders again this year.
How would it be to see Grantsville come home with a handful of state champ, in multiple sports? And
Yeah, that'd be great. Coach Austin with the boys, he's doing a great job with them, and then Coach Vera, she's doing a great job with the girls, and is really, she's been there long enough. She's really developed the girls and has had them come up through the ranks, and they play really well. And then Coach Austin, he played at BYU. He's about 6'10", 6'11".
yeah,
And anyway, he's got a lot of experience.
so he still looks up to you, but
Well, yeah. Yep. But he really has, I really feel like with the boys, he's really taught them the game and has really coached them and, gets them to think, and he's done an excellent job.
good.
Do they still do spelling bees in school?
That I don't know.
We
Yeah.
never pay attention to that stuff in America.
Well, that has been one of our gripes is that this is just a side note, little our political hassle, if you will.
Okay.
It seems like our high schools have neglected a lot of the academic competitions for the sports competitions.
Mhm.
And I think we need to put more emphasis on the academics again.
Yeah, I agree. I think America as a whole has done that.
Yeah.
Not just Utah and Grantsville.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
But America itself. We really need those staples to help our children in the future.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it help. I mean, the nation, we are going to set ourselves some pretty tall hurdles if we continue making athletics the centerpiece of a school.
Right.
Well, my wife told me today that Elon Musk might be coming out this year with a neuro implant for your head.
Yeah.
So maybe we can keep going this way.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
He's a pretty smart guy.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. Smart or ambitious, one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, he is a robot or an alien, but whatever.
Yep.
Anyways, thanks for coming on, Jesse.
You bet. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, and you can plan on, we'll have you on again before the year's out.
Okay.
To have you back on. I'm going to be circling through all the city council members down there in Grantsville, so that's a warning for all you guys down there. I think next city councilman we have up from Grantsville will be Jewel.
Oh, great.
And we're going to try to have Jewel on, I think, with someone from Tooele, or maybe even one of the new guys out in Erda, have them on at the same time,
Mhm.
sit down and we'll just chat. They can both let us know how it's going, but we're not going to pit them against each other, but it would be nice for Erda to build a relationship with other city council members, as we talked about.
I agree. I know that Mayor Critchlow has reached out to the Erda City Council and has had, I know, at least one meeting with them, and I think it went well, and so some good things that way.
Well, and regardless of the lawsuit, I think Erda should. I think Erda would benefit from saying, hey, we want to see when you guys run your meeting, how do you do this? How do you do that? How do you structure it?
Mm-hmm.
Can we rent a space? Because Erda's still going to need that.
Mm-hmm. They are.
And right now they're looking at renting a county space, but if they chat around, they might find somewhere cheaper, or somewhere that has something more effective. Mm-hmm. Might even need to be somewhere smaller unless a lot of people show up. I think just watching my Erda friends, I think their first few meetings might be a ruckus, but I think that's a new city that's going to happen.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
So, but I'm excited to see what Erda does. Mm-hmm. I am. They're stepping in on they're standing on the mind, and hopefully someone can,
help them navigate that.
Yeah, help them diffuse it.
Mm-hmm. But maybe they can write the playbook for the next person who wants to start their own city, because there's probably not a lot of guidance out there to do that. Well,
there's laws. You can flow through the law books, but it'd sure be nice to, have a friend who's on the council and be able to
bounce ideas and things. I know like the Utah League of Cities and Towns, they do produce a manual. And we give it to all of our new people that are on city council, just kind of so they can understand their duties and things like that. And then in there, they do have, how to run a city council meeting and those types of things. So there are resources out there. So you're not completely blind, but there are some resources out there.
Yeah, it's a big one. And they've got to come right out the gate.
How thick is the manual?
It's about that thick, just a little soft bound manual.
It's pretty thick.
Yeah, it's not a pamphlet.
No.
A lot of pictures, I hope.
No,
no pictures.
Huh? No, it's a lot of words. So.
So what do they call it? That size 3 font. Yeah. Teresa says, I think they compete academically, but I think we don't hear about as much. And that's true. And that's up to us. We can't blame the teachers or the students for that, but how would it be if they had a mathlete competition and
chess club
club? But what if members of the city showed up and paid $5 to watch? Because they're paying that to watch football.
True.
They're paying.
Is that what it costs? $5 to go watch?
Probably
a football
3,
game?
5, something.
It's
it's a couple bucks.
5 to 7 somewhere in there.
Somewhere in there, yeah.
Right.
So they're showing up to watch that. But what if? And that's the thing, that the school, they're going to try to get money wherever they can. Mm-hmm. One day I'll tell you about Mr. Hauk. I don't know if you've heard of him.
I have not.
Okay. Well, one day I'll tell you about him, Mr. Hauk. Anyways, he was my principal when I was in. It was in the Stone Ages. It's something, I don't know, flint napping. But anyway, we were, but if we could get the people to get excited and want to show up to that, even if it's just like a model UN or a debate. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Well, culturally, why is this? Why do we rather go to a football game rather than, say, watch the kids compete in a spelling bee or chess club? Why do you think it is?
I think excitement. Honestly, let's say they've got you're taking your wife to the movies, or you're taking your wife to a play, and they've got a play that has action and a lot of words, or you've got I don't know many plays. I went in the wrong direction with that one. But to a movie, if you've got an action movie, one of the Marvel movies, or you can go watch, an intellectual movie. You'd probably choose the action movie, and that's why they go to sports. And every dad loves to see their son or daughter excel.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, with a lot of the resources that the schools do or don't have, that limits them with what they can do.
And that's
I feel like the teachers and the administrators are doing the best they can with the resources that they have.
oh, of course, yeah.
And
Well, and it takes extra to put on a mathalon or whatever you'd call it.
Mhm.
That would have to be done on their time, and the school would have to put forth the resources to do that. The janitorial staff, getting
the lights and power,
yeah,
making sure
all that stuff. So
yeah.
that's going to have a cost to it.
Mhm.
And then they would have to cross their fingers that the citizenry will show up to watch it, to at least break even on that.
You could also maybe combine the two. Like, imagine if all the basketball players that make a point can't have that point unless they publicly solve a math problem in front of the entire arena. Oh, that would be exciting. I'd love to watch them sweat doing that.
That could be.
They blow the whistle and out runs a professor and starts questioning them. No, I like that. But I think maybe that's something to try to see if high school spelling bee would be popular. One, it's got to be popular with the students.
Mhm.
And then we've got to try to figure out how to make it popular with the students. So I think if we could advertise it, draw attention to it and try to get the community in there.
Yeah.
Figure out how to get them in there. Open up the hamburger stand out by the football field,
There you go. Food always draws people in.
That's right. We'll park the Begay trailer just right by the door.
I love their Navajo tacos. They're great.
Oh man, if you haven't had a Navajo taco, you're missing out.
So, all right, what is a Navajo taco?
Oh my goodness.
It's a taco. It's fry bread, so it's a thicker bread. Fry bread, and then it would be kind of what you'd consider like a taco salad on top of it. It's got the burger, cheese, sour cream, all the taco mixings, some beans
Mhm.
Gotcha.
on top of it, salsa.
Like
It's
a
really
taco
good.
salad on top of the fried bread.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
Gotcha. Okay.
not fried bread, fry bread.
Okay. Fry bread.
Yeah, fry bread. Yeah, it's a different type of bread. I'll take you down there. I'll find out when they're opening up next, and
Sounds like a show.
I'll drag you to it.
There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and you'll love it. It's delicious.
They're good. They're good. They're filling. They hit you hard.
Mhm.
Real good.
Yeah.
All right, Teresa, thanks for your comments. Dave's going to walk Jesse out, and then we're going to hang on here and chat about some of the kind of politics of the day that's going on. So if you're interested in more politics, stick around. If not, thanks for joining us. Everyone, thank Jesse, all you Grantsville people. You're in good hands. You're just going to, we're going to see the differences between the different types of city management, I think.
Mhm.
No mayor, city manager, and a mayor. And it's going to be exciting.
Yeah, we've got a whole mix.
It's like a government petri dish.
Mhm.
So, I mean, it is a pretty interesting time to be alive and looking at local politics. And I want to say, like, we're approaching all the councilmen, and everyone's so receptive to coming on the show and giving their 2 cents to the public through this platform. And I just think that's pretty impressive. We haven't really had anyone run away on the local side here. So
No.
Well, you guys are a little intimidating. When Jared asked me, I was like, oh, I don't know.
We did have one person that avoided us a few times, but she didn't get back in. So
there's a hint. I mean, yeah,
maybe
people want to hear this.
I'll throw it out there. Those that hung their little placard on my fence won.
The magic wall.
The magic wall. It's this little dinky fence about 8 foot wide.
Mhm.
That's where I don't know. Maybe I can start selling real estate. Be like a political billboard.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
The
Yeah.
victory wall. You don't win without
That's right.
without a pin.
The thing is, last summer I almost tore that little fence down, but now it's going to be my source of income. So it's there forever. All right, Jesse, thank
All
you
right.
very much.
You bet. Appreciate it, Jared. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you, David. Appreciate
And
it.
anytime you have anything else to throw on, or you want to get a message out, reach out. Feel free. You can come on in person. You can
Call
email
in
us
or-
something. Yeah, whatever. We'll
Great.
figure it out.
That sounds great.
All right.
Thank you so much.
We'll talk to you in a bit.
Okay.